Okay, hello, my closers. So I'm gonna be watching the teaser 2 for the MV of X. So we're gonna go ahead and watch and just, try to tie in and all in with what I was saying in the last MV teaser. But yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and watch. Ooh, the crack in the wall. And a ray of light. Ooh. Oh! Oh god, it's gonna be so good. It's gonna be so good. I've been hearing, like I said, I've been hearing like snippets of it on accident when I'm scrolling through TikTok. And I'm just like, no. So I'm just like, I already kind of heard this part like being teased, right? And then people have been like doing part of the what's it called, whatever they did, the track like teasers. They, people sometimes snip it or like they post it on, the boys themselves post it on TikTok and use the sound to like promote it, right? So I already have heard it and I'm just like, oh, it's giving me like that R&B like hip hop vibes, and I'm just like, oh, it's like my favorite genre. So I'm like so excited to see like where this goes in terms of that. But aside from that, like it going back to like the mood film and like the last teaser, you know how we ended up ending off with Yojun with like the crackling of like the wall like behind him, and then ends up him also like cracking like the facade or like the time space, whatever you want to like parallel like world universe that they're in, like time frame, like is also like cracking and breaking. But as we're starting off like that, but then like it represents like the X, and it looks like the whole that at the end of the move film, after when Mook like pulls the clock out, it creates like a hole, and they're like looking at that other like time period, like that other like that other time loop that they're in, like they're looking at it like happening again, what just happened, right? So it's giving very much that, like they're looking at it and like everything's still cracking. Oh my god, I'm not ready for these outfits. Yeah, and it's like them in the endless loop trying to, they're in that, they're in a never-ending loop trying to escape. So you see, like he sees that like away, and then they're like looking through the doors, and like him waking up from like the quote unquote like blackout. But yeah, you see Minwook like running through the halls, and then like ends up with Kyungbei like going in the door. It's like that whole like cartoon like thing where they're being chased in a scene, right? And then like they go through different doors, but then they end up coming back to the same hallway that they're already in. It's giving very much that, but also like very like like I said, the white walls kind of giving like they're in a mental like hospital or like institution or some kind, because whenever you're like going crazy, it's like very much like white walls, like padded walls, like very much wearing white. So it's like, or this is like they were saying, like it's very much giving like this is happening all behind like Minwook's like eyes, is like the whole like story that they're telling, right? And like the never ending loop of like maybe him like being in like a dream state and never like being able to wake up, and like him like basically trying to like change the like things, or there's like a certain like phrase like or term that you call it whenever like someone like can control what like their dreams, and like they can control like the outcome of what happens, and it's like within like very much in like the REM cycle, and like trying to like escape it as well as like that. I forgot what the general like the actual like term for it is, but it's giving very much that too, like where he's like, oh, like I'm trying to like change the outcome and control it, but it's still like I can't ever wake up from this never ending like nightmare dream, whatever it is. So I'm wondering like how the lyrics of like the song for X are gonna end up like going back to how it's gonna end up comparing to this concept of it, because like the song is very like, it's a very R&B, very like hip hop like 2000s vibe for me. Like that's why I'm like so happy that it's kind of like, because we did kind of get that vibe with All My Poetry, but it was more like the obviously like love song version, and then Snowy Summer was very more cutesy. Pink Candy was giving that also like hip hop more like retro like sound, right? But then we go into this and it's very much back into that hip hop like R&B, like but more darker and more like of that kind of like longing in a way, like those like more like love songs that are like about like you're longing for someone, and like, or like you just went through like a breakup. It's giving very much that, because it is called like X, so it's supposed to be like X as in like you know, X relationship, or X as in like something like missing, or like, you know what I mean? So I'm like really curious to see where this is gonna go and where this is gonna end up leading into. And I know today's the 9th and it comes out the 11th, which I don't know, that probably means like either tomorrow, like late in the day, or tomorrow, like, or literally the early morning of the 11th when I'm like asleep. But I'm, like I said, I'm gonna be, that's the first thing I'm gonna end up watching that day for sure, and dropping it early. So just keep an eye out for that. But I hope you enjoyed the video, and I shall see you in the next one.